From the Sky Satellite Network, this is Sky Sport.
The Murrayfield Racers fans are counting down the final seconds of this hockey game. It really is all over but the shouting. The Devils are trying to put in another goal, but there goes the final buzzer. And the Racers have won this hockey game. The Benson Hedges Cup is theirs. Rocky Saginaw, the coach, really does have reason to celebrate.
A very good evening to you. Welcome to the Nottingham Ice Stadium for the second Benson Hedges Cup semi-final between the Panthers and the Racers. Nottingham Panthers against the Edinburgh Racers. And we saw on that clip of VT just what that winning feeling is all about. And with me is Rocky Saginaw, the man who knows what it takes to get a team to that situation and win. And Rocky, what is that? How do you assess that?
Well, Dave, absolutely the number one thing is luck. You do need luck in any kind of sporting field at all. Luck has to be on your side. Luck's got to be on your goaltender side. If your goaltender comes up with a night where he stops 60 shots for you, you got a great chance to win. Last year's championship game, Maury Hansen did that for us. He stopped 62 shots. He had him shut out to the last minute and a half of the game, and it was an easy win for us along the way. Number two, discipline, commitment, a lot of aggressiveness, and confidence galore. If we can get all that together, and both teams do that tonight, we can have ourselves a hell of a game.
It's a very big weekend for both teams because, again, it's like last weekend. Nottingham at home tonight, Edinburgh at home tomorrow night. So much at stake really for Nottingham tonight. They've got to go well.
You know, we've seen last weekend up in Sheffield, and the crowd was there. They were really intense. They were getting behind the Sheffield club. Sheffield thought it was going to maybe be an easier game because the Cooper boys were down to only one, with Stephen out on the defense. Johnny Lawless had to come back and play. And that little intensity maybe wasn't quite in there, and it wasn't there for Sheffield. Now, I know tonight here in Nottingham, the crowd's going to be behind Nottingham again, and the fans are going to want to get their players to play really hard and go for it. Blaisdell, the coach, wants his team to play hard, but the team here in Murrayfield wants to get the crowd quiet, and I think that's what they're going to try and accomplish, get the crowd quiet and try and create an upset.
So the Edinburgh tactic is to subdue the home side, keep the score low?
Absolutely. Just try and play a really good defensive game. Keep them away from the goal. Hopefully that Maury Hansen again tonight comes up with a huge game for him. And then the other end, the magic of Tony Hand and the hands that he has might create 2 or 3 goals for him to put the pressure back on Nottingham.
Rocky, we'll have more from you in just a moment. We'll be talking with Rocky a little later in the programme. But right now, let's get some more views on this match. On the ice now from Julia Roberts.
With me now are the two team captains, Tony Hand and Rick Brabant. Rick, you're the captain for the Nottingham Panthers. How do you see it going tonight?
Well, I think early on both teams will be finding out where their strength and weakness is, both offensively and defensively. And I think as the game progresses, you'll see both teams open up because both teams have quite a bit of offensive punch. And it'll be the team that makes the least amount of mistakes that will win this game.
You're actually the informed team at the moment. You've only lost once, I think, this season against the Sheffield Steelers in this tournament earlier on. What do you attribute that to?
I think the guys are hungry. Nottingham have not won a lot of major awards in the past. And this year they got a lot of young players that have now matured and are ready to contend for all the championship competitions this year.
Tony, you're actually the cup holders, so to speak. What have you come here tonight for?
Well, just now I can't really reveal our game plan, but we just want to keep the goals down. Maybe maximum 2 goals against 2 goals down at the end of the game. If not, possibly try and squeak a goal. Win by 1 or 2 at the end of the game, but it's going to be really tough for us. If we can keep it down to 1 and 2, we'll be happy because you say it's over 6 periods, over 2 games. It's not over 1 period or 2 periods. But Nottingham are such a good team that they can score maybe 3 or 4 goals in a period, so that could really put you out of the competition. So we were looking to keep it close here and hopefully sneak a win at Murrayfield.
Tomorrow night, both of you, of course, you'll be involved tomorrow night. You're both top scorers, though. Is there any personal sort of rivalry between you?
I don't think so, no. I think everyone wants their team to do well, first and foremost. I'd be happy to get no goals tonight and come away with a win. I'd be happy with that.
I think it's likewise. You're only as good as the players around you, and if you have a good team, you're bound to be up in the scoring charts. And the key tonight is the 2 points for us, and hopefully a few goals cushion going up into Murrayfield.
Julia Roberts getting the views from on the ice there. But Rocky, I think the point that has to be made is that Nottingham are hungry and they're a form side at the moment, but they've never had this sort of major tournament.
Well, they've not been in the Benson Hedges Cup tournament to this level like this,
right.
Probably. They've been to the league championships and they've won it over the last couple of years or so ago. They've been there. They've been there with this team too of younger players that they've developed along the way. They've brought in some great imports, and Rick Brabant, who knows how to win. He's a champion, and because of all that intensity that they have in their team, they're going to be tough tonight. You said it yourself just there. They are a team ready and hungry. They believe they can't be beat. And what a feeling that must be for the guys in the dressing room right now, knowing I can't wait to get on the ice. I want to get out there and do my job.
So how will Nottingham approach this? We said earlier that obviously Edinburgh want to keep it tight, keep the score low, but Nottingham really were going to go flat out, aren't they?
Well, I spoke to Rick Brabant earlier before the game started, and I tried to get his views of what they were going to do. And he didn't want to tell me too much, but I got the idea that they're going to go out and really play a hard, aggressive game against the Edinburgh team. I believe they're going to try and eliminate Tony Hand as much as possible. When I say eliminate, I don't mean just take him off and hit him once or twice, but when they do take him off the puck, to pin him into the boards and hold him there for 3 or 4 seconds so he doesn't slide back into play again. There's no doubt you have to go against Tony and try and take him out of the game. If you don't, you let him play, he's the greatest goal-scoring machine in British ice hockey history, and he can turn it around now.
In a couple of words, you looking forward to this first semi-final?
I'm looking forward to the drop of the puck here. It's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a better game and a better weekend than what we maybe seen last weekend against Sheffield and Cardiff. It was a good, hard hockey game, but I think more excitement here tonight.
Well, that was certainly good stuff down at Cardiff last Sunday. I can testify for that. We look forward to seeing you again in a couple of minutes. Highlights for the first period coming up. We'll see you after the break.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Welcome back to Nottingham. Let's take a check straight away on the way the two sides line up for this Benson Hedges semi-final between Nottingham and Edinburgh. Let's start with the Nottingham lineup. And Rocky, any surprises there?
No, you know, everybody in that lineup has been there all year. They've been working really hard. Ross Lambert's a heck of a worker for him. He's one of their key imports. We have Waghorn playing defense. You got Anthony Tate. But Mike Blaisdell, the old coach there, he's working like an old workhorse out there for their team, leading along the way. And what can I say about Rick Brabant, probably one of the most key import players that has been in the country the last 5-6 years.
Right, now the Edinburgh lineup, and I guess obviously you better than anyone know this team. Is this how you would have picked them?
Well, there's guys on that team that I never had on last year. They've re-strengthened their team a bit with some British guys. Kevin Renton, Peter Wood, Flockhart, Park, all these guys are new. But the old guys, the Paul Petlands, the Mike Wares, the Dean Edmonstons, these guys are all key players for him, but Maury Hansen, their goaltender's got to be the key player for him, definitely.
Okay, Rocky, thank you very much indeed for that. Well, of course, the second period coming up live, but there has been some action here already. Here now are the highlights of the first period, and commentary from Gary Moran and Paul Ferguson.
Racers trying to get it out of the zone. 80 goes out right in front. Hunt possession. Scores! Simon Hunt waltzed in unmolested. Everyone was on the far side of the rink.
One minute, 50 seconds gone. Simon Hunt gets the goal, but it's great work by the 26-year-old defenseman Garth Premack, who ties up the Merrifield Racers and allows 80 to feed Hunt in the slot, and he puts the 5-hole through.
And Palmer just jumps it in as Waghorn has to go deep. Premack along the boards, loses out to Michulik. Palmer's there to pick it up, right in front. Butler goes down, it's in the net! Michulik had to wait a while for that one to eventually go over the red line, but that levels the score.
Merrifield Racers piling on the pressure and Nottingham paying the price for not clearing their zone. Garth Premack at first gets caught, and then Waghorn gets caught, and it's fed out front, and Michulik just manages to snaffle it in past Butler.
Good stuff from the Racers as they refuse to let the Panthers take a shot. That bounces over Brabant's stick, and for a moment, the Racers breathe. Tate tries to get around Hand, and he does. A last-minute check sends that puck into the corner. Hand gets it out, but Brabant keeps it in. Tate takes a shot.
Ashley Tate, the Nottingham youngster, named this week as Great Britain under-21 captain. He was celebrating that midweek. He's celebrating a goal here for the Panthers. He was instrumental throughout the power play, set up his player coach Mike Blaisdell a couple of times, and then stepped in from the wing to shoot home himself.
Pentland unable to get it around Lovell's skate. Confusion on the D for the Racers. They're going to want to talk about that with Jockey on the bench. Blaisdell providing some good forechecking as Horansky gets it over. The Racers now looking to string a few passes together. Horansky unable to contain that. Tate at the blue line. Breaks over the slot area. Tate goes in. That's number 3 for the Panthers. And number 2 for Tate. Nicely taken.
The new Great Britain under-21 captain celebrates again, and once again he cuts in off the left wing with a nice burst of speed that gets him into clear open ice. He bats it forward off the top of the boards, cuts in there, gets the room, and assisted by his player coach, he makes it 3-1.
80 tried to go in, and his shot really didn't come as Ware muscles him along the boards. Waghorn beaten to it on this one. Coming up quickly is Palmer. Some good stuff, but Palmer hangs on to it right out front. The shot is scored. Michulik. Ivan Michulik right in front. Butler left alone. And the Racers have closed the gap. 3-2 here in the first period.
Ivan Michulik getting the goal here after the Panthers were a little unlucky. It was a deflected puck that got past Waghorn. Premack dived to try and break it up, and it left Michulik all on his own when he got the feed in the slot.
Again, clever defensive stuff from both teams out there. Taylor just pops it into the corner. That comes back to Chuck Taylor again. A lot of time. Shot right on the pass. 80 is there to pick up the rebound. Another power play goal for the Nottingham Panthers.
Paul Adey puts away the rebound. On the power play, Ware in the box. Twice he's gone to the box. Twice the Panthers have scored on the power play.
So 4-2 then to the Panthers at the end of that first period, and I guess, Rocky, that they will be pleased with that, but equally Edinburgh will feel we're not out of it.
You know, if I was coaching Edinburgh right now, I'd be saying the same thing to them. You know, guys, we come out of this period, we're not down 3 or 4 goals. We only want to be down. If we're going to be down, let's be down 1, maybe 2. We can get back in the game and keep it tight.
The Panthers player coach Mike Blaisdell's playing. I mean, that's a dilemma for him, because is he tempted maybe to stay on for too long?
Well, we were talking about that earlier. A couple of shifts there looked like he was out there, maybe his line a little long. What you're tempted is you're starting to shift off, and you're going, I feel pretty good here, and by the time the shift's over, you're a little tired, and maybe something happens against you the other way.
We shall find out in this second period. That's coming up in a couple of minutes. Right now, we'll take a break. See you again very soon.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Welcome back to Nottingham for this Benson Hedges Cup semi-final between the Nottingham Panthers and the Edinburgh Racers. It's 4-2 to the Panthers at the moment. Away we go with this second period, and commentary once again comes from Gary Moran and Paul Ferguson.
Referee Graham Horner calls the teams together for the start of the second period. 4-2 the score. The Panthers with 2 power play goals leading this one, but still a lot of hockey to go. Panthers playing from left to right. Both teams are full strength, but the Racers are playing without Paul Hand, who is not only suspended, but has just had an operation on his right knee, and he'll be out till after Christmas. A big steal now, a chance as Butler goes down, go right in. Butler fell into his net. Palmer almost made it 4-3. It's 4-2 now, and Palmer just couldn't capitalize on that. Ware backhands that in past Premack, and a quick break there would have done wonders for the Edinburgh Racers' morale here in the second period. Ware gets a tip on that and goes after Brabant. The whistle is going to blow. We're going to have the third penalty of the game, and it's the third penalty to Mike Ware. Mike Ware gets called for roughing out there, and this guy is after Brabant, he's after Weber, he's after everybody. He's been in the box twice, and they've scored 2 goals. Boy, that should tell him something.
Well, maybe he hasn't worked that one out yet, but 24 Mike Ware gets 2 minutes for roughing. And as you say, he'd had a go at Rick Brabant, then he had a go at Randall Weber. Now, Ware and Brabant have the major history, but it's the elbow and the cuff round the head on Weber that draws the 2-minute penalty, and Graham Horner sends him to sit down for 2 minutes, and Panthers get a man advantage again.
Face-off deep in Racers territory. In the first period, Maury Hansen, the goaltender, faced 21 shots. Butler at the other end faced only 11. Hunt gets another chance from close in and scores. Boy, that didn't take long. Hunt gets a power play goal with just 5 seconds gone on the penalty to Ware. Somebody's got to talk to this guy.
He's a key player for the Merrifield Racers, but little rolling ball. Simon Hunt is one as well. Poor Lady wins the draw, and then where is the Edinburgh defence? He has all the time in the world. Matulik looks behind him thinking the first shot's gone, and it gives Simon Hunt a lot of time to set himself up for that one.
From the face-off with the 5-2 scoreline, the Racers go back on the defensive again with Scott Clues deep in his own zone. Nottingham leading the team from Edinburgh 5-2 here, and the penalties are killing the Racers. We haven't seen a lot of penalties, but the ones that have been have counted goals. Tate goes in, Benson comes up big, back come the Racers. Nice pass up to Matulik. Matulik on the wing, drops it back to Hand flips it over. Palmer puts it upstairs, and Butler goes down and keeps that out of the net. Lambert slowly bangs it off the boards. Not a great clearance from him. Ware on the far side can't get the clearance, and Ware puts up the paw again. Lambert is in his face, and we're going to have another penalty again. Holding is the call. Ware once again involved, but this time Ware is going to stay on the ice.
Ross Lambert takes the penalty for the Nottingham Panthers, 32-year-old from Saskatchewan. He goes up to Ware and grabs a piece of him and then has hold of that stick, and it's a key offence this year. The referees are calling it. You can't grab hold of an opponent's stick in season 94-95.
Big Mike Ware spent some time in Edmonton with the Oilers. This guy is a colourful character, that's for sure. He towers over everyone out there. He's physical. He likes to play his kind of game. He gets the penalties and they cost him, but he still continues to play his game. Face-off deep in Nottingham territory. 5-2 the score. Ware back at the blue, pops it in. Palmer, who has just joined the team from Switzerland, one of the most prolific goal scorers in the country last year, got it over, and Matulik tried to flip it in. Hand gets it on the hash marks. Hand and Palmer crisscross. The Panthers keep the box as Premack stays back. Shot from a sharp angle by Hand. Doesn't get back. Doesn't hit the goaltender, rather goes back behind the net. All the way back to the blue. Chance for Ware. He's got the shot. Lets it go upstairs over the top of the net. Bouncing puck, and eventually Palmer slows it down. Premack tries to move it away from Hand. Good play from Tony Hand, the captain. Some good stuff from Weber, or Hunt rather, as he got it up to Brabant. Brabant went for the short side, slid it along the ice, and just missed that corner. Hunt can't grab it. Ware has it and gives it to Palmer. Back to Ware. Ware's got Matulik out front. In comes Pentland. Pentland takes the shot. Misses the target. Palmer still on the power play. Gets it back to Ware. Ware skates along the boards, falls. That comes back to Hand, who gets it over. Pentland from a sharp angle right in front. Ware was there. The big defenseman has moved up to stand in front and provide a little traffic and perhaps a little interference. Pentland to Hand. Hand fans on the pass all the way down the ice, and Hunt picks it up. Can he come in from a sharp angle? Hansen, another shot, scores! Hansen went down, couldn't clear it away. Hunt is there to bang it home. Short-handed goal for the Panthers. Boy, they can't do anything wrong right now.
Maury Hansen made the original save on Simon Hunt's cut across the crease area, but the youngster, who's a motor mechanic not a million miles away from the ice stadium, picked up the crumbs himself and turned it into the net. Hunt has got his hat-trick, and the Panthers have scored 3 out of 3 power plays and now a short-handed goal as well. The special teams doing the business for the Nottingham Panthers, and the penalties hurting the Merrifield Racers. Simon Hunt celebrates his hat-trick.
23 seconds remaining on the power play as the Panthers get it all the way down the ice. Palmer wants it on the wing as Tony Hand decides to carry it himself up on the left side. Good move by Hand as he gets round Trickett. Good pass out front. That bounces over the stick of Matulik. Pentland has to go back into neutral ice territory to pick it up. Lambert steps back on the ice, picks up the puck and comes in, drops it to Blaisdell. Blaisdell gets it over. 80, very, very pretty goal. Lambert to Blaisdell to 80. Whoa, what a class act.
Tremendous stuff from the Nottingham Panthers. No wonder their fans are celebrating here. Another capacity house, as it has been for 14 years at the Nottingham Ice Stadium. But it was a very nice piece of ice hockey. They just steamed up the ice and swept up the ice just as they got Lambert straight from the box. He got straight into the play, onto Blaisdell. Blaisdell to 80 at the far post, back of the net. Thank you very much.
Hockey at its best right now from the Nottingham Panthers, delighting this capacity crowd here in the Nottingham Ice Stadium. Mike Blaisdell, the player coach with 10 years in the National Hockey League, had the option to let the shot go, but elected to go with the experience of 80 on the wing, and 80 did the job. Some good stuff from the Panthers as they continue to impress here in the second period. Chuck Taylor slides it forward as Horansky continues to forecheck. Grabbed by Edmiston. Edmiston is taken out of the play, got the pass over on the wing, and at the second attempt he gets another pass over. Out front is Dunbar. Horansky tries to get away from Taylor. Dunbar, Edmiston goes up high. Butler loses it for a second and then somehow gathers that and forces a face-off.
17-year-old Laurie Dunbar out there for his first shift for the Edinburgh Racers. And it's the Nottingham Panthers who are getting the benefit of getting the extra bodies out onto the ice, the fresher legs out there. Stephen Butler marshalling his troops on defence at the moment for the Nottingham Panthers.
Horansky dumped in the far corner. Edmiston goes in and tries to get it out front. A big hit there, another penalty coming up as the Racers get called for cross-checking. Paul Pentland makes his way slowly to the box as referee Graham Horansky, 20. Well, the announcement came that it was Horansky. Now I confirm what I said the first time. It's Paul Pentland who goes for cross-checking.
The 30-year-old will sit for 2 minutes for this hit on the youngster Ashley Tate. Ashley Tate proving to be a real key player in this one. He's got a couple of goals first period, and now he's sucked the Edinburgh Racers into another penalty, and that will give the Nottingham Panthers another power play.
Face-off for Bant, who finds himself back on the blue, gets it over to Taylor. Taylor brings it up center. Taylor up to 80, overskates that. Michulik to Hand. Hand drops it back nicely. Michulik goes for the far corner. Hand was crisscrossing and looking for something. It didn't come his way. And here come the Panthers. Loose puck on the wing. Brabant has it. He's got Hunt. He's got Blaisdell. The shot is scored. Brabant decides to do it himself. Another power play goal for the Panthers.
And once again, the special teams work for the Nottingham Panthers. And when they've got a man advantage, they have so many permutations. Player coach Mike Blaisdell feeds it right wing to Simon Hunt. He doesn't quite get onto it, but Rick Brabant does, and he cuts in all the way through to Murray Hansen, and then through the legs for goal number 8.
Another look at that. Hansen goes down, can't get to it. Palmer flips it to the far side. 8-2 the score, 14:52 remaining on the second period, and what a powerful period it's been for the Nottingham Panthers. They really came out on fire. 4 goals so far, still a lot of hockey to go in this one. One of the problems with the Edinburgh Racers is that they rely on 4 players to score most of their goals. It's usually Tony Hand and the imports. This year they've picked up over 80% of the scoring. Comes back, Michulik lets it go. Good save by Butler, got the pad on it. Whereas if you take a look at the Nottingham Panthers, just about anybody can score a goal for these guys. They have so much depth. Hand breaks in now. Hand comes in, looking for the puck. Good stuff by Premack. Excellent. Hand picks it up, gets it out front. Ware with a chance to shoot, can't get any steam on it. The second attempt, Ware puts it in the corner. Tony Hand has Waghorn draped all over him. Michulik goes in, can't get the stick. Ware is there, shot right on the target. But Brabant got the stick on it to feed it away. Brabant and Hand behind the net. Comes to the near side. Some clutching and grabbing on Michulik. Ware tees it up, lets the shot go. Excellent stuff by Brabant as he got in front of that. Now Machunik shoots right on the target, but the defensive stick gets in there. Hand races for this, and eventually it's shot down the ice as the crowd appreciates the defensive stuff that the Nottingham Panthers have been doing out there. But how about this offensive attack from the Racers?
Well, it's the defence of the Nottingham Panthers that's winning the battle at the moment. And it's a defence led by the guy from Ituna in Canada, Garth Premack. And it's his recovery that I like the most. I think he's one of the best, if not the best import currently playing in the British League, because of the way he recovers quickly if there's a mistake and he gets back into position. And that's rubbed off on the likes of Waghorn and Trickett in his first year on defence in the Premier.
Blaisdell from behind his own goal slows it down and then gets it up on the wing. Nice pass up the middle. Lambert against Lovell. Lambert slams on the brakes and goes down. Lovell makes sure he stays down, piles in on top of him. Blaisdell wants that puck. Trickett fires it in behind the goal. Hunt is there to collect. Pentland takes him out of the play nicely. Lambert is in there in a hurry. Hunt has Blaisdell out front, doesn't come his way. Both teams bustling along the boards as Pentland gets in and loses his helmet. Some physical stuff out there. Hunt from a sharp angle. Look at the determination from that youngster from Nottingham. Trickett, way back at his own blue. Trickett gave it away to Dunbar and then got it back and popped it out into neutralized territory. Dunbar looking for places to go. Clever pass over to the far side. Edmiston taken out of the plate. Dunbar and Trickett having words with each other. Blaisdell finds himself deep, gives it away to Lovell. Lovell lets the shot go low and gunning for the short side. That bounced away. Both teams need a rest out there. Edmiston had a perfect opportunity to close the gap and couldn't hit the net. A 2-on-2 situation now. Blaisdell decides to wait for a little support, puts it in to Hansen. Edmiston on the far side loses out to Hunt. A high flip, and we have another penalty coming up as the players tee off at the other end of the rink. We have muscling in front of the Nottingham Panthers bench, and the officials quickly get back as Matt Trickett has a few words with Horansky. Let's take a look at this again. Physical stuff all over the ice. Hunt and Edmiston have words, collide. Edmiston getting the stick in there. There's the high stick at the second attempt.
Edmiston argued afterwards that it was accidental, but it was careless in the very least, if not reckless, and he'll get the penalty. I'll be surprised if he gets away with 2 minutes. It's normally a 2+2 call for accidental high stick these days. Edmiston going to the box. It was Horansky and Trickett who did a military two-step at the other end, but nothing came of that, and the linesman got back and sorted that one out. Matt Trickett just showing up big for his teammates, and it's a high sticking call coming in from referee Graham Horner from the northeast.
11 minutes, 52 seconds remaining on the second period. Edmiston, a lot of people, including myself, were expecting more from this youngster. Say about 3 years ago or 4 years ago, he was one of the top 5 British players in the country. Something has slowed him down, and he's not performing right now, that's for sure.
Well, Rocky Sagler paid big money to get him to the Merrifield Races, as they were called last year. There was a lot of talk of him leaving in the summer, but no one came up with a transfer fee, so he's still in an Edinburgh strip this season.
Sometimes these players price themselves right out of the market. Hang finds an opening and shoots it down the ice. The official indicating that he was a little confused with the amount of players out there. Now he's shaking his head and goes over to the timekeeper's bench. The fans here really enjoying this one. 8-2 the scoreline. The Nottingham Panthers well and truly in control, but with the announcement in the background is a 2-minute penalty to the Edinburgh Racers. They had too many imports on the ice. They have to have 3 British players on the ice at all times, and Jockey, the coach, is responsible for putting the players on the ice, so I'm sure the players this time will have a word with Jock about what's going on.
Well, it's a complicated rule to enforce. You have to have 3 British guys on the ice. The netminder counts as one of them. Then you have to have 2 British skaters. But with Chris Palmer just rejoining the Racers lineup, that's where the confusion's coming from. People are getting mixed up as to whether he counts as an import or whatever. He counts as an import.
Palmer sits in the box. A shot from Blaisdell just misses the far post. Taylor. So it's Edmiston and Palmer in the box. A 5-on-3 situation out there. Taylor slides it along the boards in the corner. A lot of time out there for the Panthers to set it up and make it count. Taylor, who's got the big shot, elects to go with Brabant. That deflects away off of Michulik's skate, and it comes back nicely for Brabant. Tate to Brabant. Right in, close. 80 is there. Blaisdell was an option out front, but 80 did the job. Another power play goal.
Nottingham Panthers are 5 for 5 on the power play so far in this game. 5 times they've had the man advantage, 5 times they've turned it into goal advantage. And they've got fresh legs for their key players on the power play because of their strength in depth. Brabant gets it in to the side of the goal. It was 80 with the tip that comes back off Murray Hansen, and he puts his own rebound away. 9 minutes gone in the second period, and it's Paul Adey putting away his hat-trick, and again it's a power play goal for Nottingham.
9-2, the Panthers continue to pile on the goals, and they still have the power play. Palmer still sitting in the penalty box. Edmiston steals that. Edmiston eventually finds Michulik. Michulik goes for a skate and gets it back to Tony Hand. Hand nicely through to Ware. Ware spun around. That's a penalty to Taylor. Ware attracts a penalty, and that'll level things up out on the ice, not on the scoreboard. Let's look at this again. Holding is the call on Big Chuck Taylor.
Chuck Taylor grabs a little bit too much of Mike Ware and puts the bear hug on him, spins him round, and number 12 Chuck Taylor goes to the box for 2 minutes, which will give the Merrifield Racers in 50 seconds time 1 minute and 10 seconds of power play of their own. Chuck Taylor, the 33-year-old defenseman, having his debut season with a Premier Division outfit in his 12th year in Britain.
Premack slides that over. Waghorn gets it up, and Tony Hand gets in the way of Lambert. Lambert raced into the corner. Hand is all over him again. Edmiston there to help out, but everyone is wrongly positioned for the Racers. Nice play from Tate to get it over to Lambert. There's a penalty out there. Cross-checking is the call. The goal has been disallowed as Tony Hand lays down on the ice. Cross-checking is the call. Horner quick to react on that, but Tate so quick to react on the pass to Lambert.
The goal ruled out, but it was a sweet play, wasn't it? Tate picked Lambert out, fired a beautiful pass across to him, and that was turned in. It's 2 minutes for cross-checking against the goal scorer, who didn't actually count the goal, Ross Lambert. He puts it away, but he was on a delayed penalty then, and therefore couldn't have scored the goal.
Watch this again, the battle between the 2 nines out there. Hand and Lambert comes out front. Premack slides it over. Tate goes in. There's a big check on Tony Hand. Lambert had something to do with that, putting him out of the play and then putting the puck in the net. That doesn't count. So Taylor now in the box, along with Taylor in the box, and now Lambert joins him. 4-on-3 situation, because Palmer is still in the box for 31 seconds anyway for the Racers. 9-2. This game is getting more and more physical. It's going to be wide open now. This is where Tony Hand should shine. He's got lots of moves, so has Michulik. These guys like it when there aren't that many players out on the ice. They have more space to move, more room to move. Ware, back at the blue, puts it too high over the top of the net. Waghorn rattles it off the boards and down the ice. Palmer, 1 second, jumps on the ice. Edinburgh back in full strength, a 5-on-3 situation. Palmer can't get the pass, it goes into the corner. Waghorn is there, tied up. Tony Hand at the top of the circle. Hand neatly gets it back to Edmiston. Edmiston back to Hand, time to shoot, again too high. You're not going to score when the puck is 12 feet over the top of the net. Rink-wide pass, Ware At the second attempt, takes a shot, that deflected away. Michulik tried to get it out front. Edmiston, or Palmer rather, was there. Hand is in the crease. Butler is down, trying to force that whistle. Eventually, Horner, the referee, lost sight of it and blew the whistle. That was a long time coming.
5-on-3 power play at the moment to the Merrifield Racers, and that brings back into play very much so the rule we were talking about earlier, where you have to have 3 British guys out on the ice at all times. The netminder counts as one of them. You've only got 3 skaters, as in the Nottingham Panthers case at the moment. 2 of them have to be British guys. One of the guys that would normally put out there a lot of the time is Chuck Taylor, a British passport holder. Big cheer from the crowd there for a junior result just announced. The Nottingham youngsters beat Sheffield 15-0. There's a lot of rivalry with Sheffield this afternoon. That was the under-12 Tiger Cubs.
34 seconds remaining on Taylor's penalty. 50 seconds now on Lambert's, as that's knocked past Ware by Waghorn. Every time Ware misses the puck, falls down, gets a penalty. Boy, this crowd loves that. Jeers, cheers, whatever. Edmiston out front as Palmer tries to feed it through. Hand with several options. Looks across to Ware. Forgot the puck. Hand tees it up. Takes a shot. Deflection. Palmer was right there. Butler flopping all over the place. Michulik can't get the puck, and it's a 5-on-4 as Taylor breaks after stepping out onto the ice. Lambert with 9 seconds now remaining on his penalty. Good stuff from the Panthers. A 2-on-1 situation as Michulik gets back quickly. Lambert steps on the ice, and the Panthers are back at full strength. Listen to the cheer in the background. The crowd love it when they kill off those penalties. 80 breaks up the middle. 80 being hooked from behind by Hand is brought down. No penalty. The crowd don't like that, but Horner, good call from him. The giveaway right in front. Lambert wants it. The shot doesn't come his way. 80 is over there.
Paul 80 gets his 4th goal of the game so far. The Nottingham Panthers get one even strength just for a change after all those power play efforts, 5 out of 5. The Merrifield Racers with tired legs as they battled away on that power play without success, and they couldn't clear their zone and paid the price. Paul 80 had the option of a pass, but he chose to shoot and score.
80 with that deadly shot from close in on Murray Hansen. And the Racers have changed their goalie. Gary Hutchison, the youngster, goes in between the pipes, and a tough assignment to go in at this stage of the game. You got to remember, he can't have a warm-up now. He hasn't seen the puck since the warm-up before the hockey game, and he's out there now loosening up, and he's going to look for an early shot and hopefully an early save to get him the confidence to get into this game. The score here is 10-2. This is becoming a bit of a rout with 7:41 remaining on the period. Remember, 20 minutes of hockey left in this one, and then tomorrow night we go to Edinburgh and we have 60 minutes of hockey there. You're taking a look out there at the champions from last year when they were called the Murrayfield Racers. They're the Edinburgh Racers now for political reasons, but they're not playing hockey like the champions of last year. Taylor takes the save, and Hutchison makes the save. Takes the shot now. Hutchison makes the save. Hunt right in front. Another save. Brabant puts it in front. Hunt again from the side of the net. Shots from all angles. This is getting crazy out there as the Panthers continue to apply the pressure. The Racers are being run ragged here in the second period. A brilliant period for the home side. 6 goals in this period alone, and we still have 6 minutes and 44 seconds remaining. Brabant just flips it high back to the Racers zone. Both teams continue with the same lines. A long clearance out for Horansky is a 2-liner, and the whistle blows. Both teams will now change up.
That 19-year-old netminder you were talking about, Gary Hutchinson, going into the cage for the Merrifield Racers as his teammates take a rest, has actually only had 28 minutes of Benson Hedges Cup action before this one. He's going to get a big 28 minutes coming up now. I mean, it's a key area, and I don't really think Murray Hansen was to blame. I think Jock Hayes just done something to try and fire the Racers up and get something going for them, but the special teams of the Panthers have been killing the Racers.
That's absolutely right. Waghorn lets the shot go. Good save by the young goaltender as he went down the top of the crease. Ware picks it up, puts it into Palmer. Machulik quickly breaks, tries to go in and slams it into the pad of Butler. Butler coming up big. He really hasn't seen the puck on that many occasions in this period, but when he's been called upon, he's been good.
The Nottingham Panthers player coach Mike Blaisdell will shortly resume bench coaching duties when he adds a guy called Super Mario Belanger to the Nottingham lineup, and he'll hopefully be in the lineup, they reckon, in Nottingham in time for the final, should they get past the Racers over the 2 periods.
Machulik so quick on the backhand, flips it to the forehand, back on the backhand, the pad save comes out. Good stuff from Butler, right out front. Palmer is there, goes for the short side. Action all around that Nottingham net now as the Racers pick up their game. 80 in front, tries to slide it into the far corner. That didn't work. He missed the target by about 1.5 feet. Lambert goes into forecheck. Hand is back along with Clues. The Racers really missing Paul Hand, who is out with both suspension and a leg injury. This guy helps to stabilize that defense. Another whistle on the play with 5 minutes and 36 seconds remaining on the second period. 10-2 the score. A runaway scoreline right now, and who would have predicted this? Jock Hay with a whole basket full of problems.
Well, he's got to find a way of cracking open the powerhouse Nottingham Panthers, because that's what they're being called this year, a powerhouse club. And it was because they were looking so good and all the pundits were saying they were doing so well that Mario Belanger wanted to join Nottingham, and Jock Hay there has a real puzzle to solve now, doesn't he?
Well, it's an uphill battle. Palmer beats Trickett to it. Trickett slams it out to Twait. And Brabant slides it back to the youngster on the wing. But Clues gets in there and puts it over the boards. It's nice to see the youngsters playing with the likes of Rick Brabant. This guy has a wealth of experience, and anyone who plays alongside with Rick Brabant is bound to gain something.
Well, Fred Miller and his wife enjoying this from the Sports Council in the East Midlands, and the rest of the fans, all ages, in Nottingham Family Sport, pack this building out every weekend for 14 years.
It's tough to get a seat in this place. It's even tougher to get a parking place out front. Pentland along the boards. Taylor kept it in. Brabant to Blaisdell. Blaisdell stick handling nicely, fires it around, and Brabant picks it up behind the goal. One-way traffic right now as a little pressure comes from Horansky. Still the Panthers hang on to it. Trickett way back at the blue, slides it away from Dunbar. Horansky, a good job of back-checking, but Blaisdell goes in and tries to clean up. Horansky now in the corner. Twait against him. Edmiston puts it back in front of his own net. Back to Edmiston. Why is he breaking up center when the road was clear in front of him? Edmiston takes it into the corner. Really did take himself out of the play on 2 occasions. Edmiston finally dumped in the corner, and Blaisdell picks it up. Blaisdell, Brabant. Nice check there by Dunbar as he took the puck away from Brabant with a good little poke check. Dunbar goes after Blaisdell, slides it along the boards, and Brabant has the final say as he puts it in behind the net. Pentland rattles that off a skate. 4 minutes and 6 seconds remaining on this period. Horansky puts the check on Waghorn. Lambert throws it out front. Good play by Lambert. Oh, good vision there as Hunt comes up with yet another big goal.
Nottingham Panthers were changing on the fly, and it led to Lambert seeing Simon Hunt, the motor mechanic, steaming in at the far post. 20 years old he is, Simon Hunt. Beautiful backhand pass that bounces behind the Murrayfield defence. And Simon Hunt drills it past Hutchison for the first goal against the 19-year-old Murrayfield replacement netminder. Murrayfield are just going to have to forget the score.
That's the 4th goal for Hunt. He's having a big game, enjoying this opportunity to shine. Most people in this country look to the imports on teams up and down the country for the scoring, but it's nice to see when you see Simon Hunt and the likes of the British players come up big. 11-2. Hunt again lets the shot go, but the whistle had already blown. Some late hits out there. Oh, and it's big Mike Ware mixing it up.
Ross Lambert going in with Mike Ware after the hit from behind on Simon Hunt. Ross Lambert will put his face wherever it's not wanted.
No contest there when it comes to reach and height. But Lambert will stay in. Ware comes right back in. Palmer wants to get Butler off. Boy, you're going to see a lot of players leave this game after this fight is over. You're not allowed to join the fight. You can't be the third man in. How many men do we have going in? Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Ware has his man at his mercy, but he's not throwing any punches. Ware has the opportunity to throw the punches, but he's not doing that. Horner is telling him, if you throw the punches, you could be gone for a very, very long time, son.
We'll give the Nottingham youngster Phil Butler, 20 years old, from Solihull, his due. He went in there to protect the teammate. Possibly third man in, as you say, Paul, but who would go in third man in on Mike Ware?
You have to go in and help out your teammates if they're being double teamed, whatever. Ware, I think, is going to change his mind about throwing those punches. Ware is so big and so lanky and so difficult to contain.
Well, it all started because Ross Lambert got it stuck in to protect Simon Hunt and help him. Phil Butler now centre ice, trying to undo the equipment so that he could throw punches. That's why he's staying away. He's been sent out of the game, Phil Butler, and Mike Ware still hasn't decided to go and sit down and take his penalty. He still might want to get something going.
The Dutch linesman Doba is still standing with Ware and still trying to keep him away from everyone else, along with the linesman Young. This is going to take a while for referee Graham Horner to sort out, that's for sure. We had so many players involved in that one. Ware is trying to talk his way out of this one. That has never worked in the past. It's not going to work tonight. Ware could be history. He's being directed to the gates on the far side of the rink, and the crowds love to hate this man. He forgets about his glove, his stick, and his helmet. He's going to be taking an early shower. Hey, one consolation, at least he's going to get some hot water.
Yeah, he'll be first one in the shower tonight. But it's not going to help the Edinburgh Racers' cause. And I was just about to say during the play-by-play that Merrifield needed to forget the scoreline and just get on with it and try and sneak a couple of goals and get back into the match. Even if they didn't get back even Stevens, just get a couple of goals to give them some heart for tomorrow night. Now what have they got? They've got a guy, Mike Ware, thrown out on a 5-in game.
Let's see how this started. Hunt goes in. This guy has been all the way, all over the game. He really has played well. There's the hit from behind. Lambert goes in and roughs up Ware, and it all starts from there. The Edinburgh netminder, Hutchison, has been given a 2-minute minor for leaving his crease. And we're trying to pass these on to you as we hear them. Ware is history, we know that.
Ware's gone on a game misconduct. Butler's gone on a match misconduct for fighting. His brother Steve Butler, the Nottingham netminder, has just done the right thing and asked the referees for permission to go over to the Panthers team bench and get a drink and have a chat with the backup netminder Paul Bly. And the Nottingham players taking a rest as the calls are being made. Dean Edmiston and Graham Waghorn. Edmiston from the Edinburgh Racers, Waghorn from the Nottingham Panthers, getting 2 minutes apiece for roughing penalties.
Ware is so difficult to contain, as I said earlier, but look at the diminutive Ross Lambert staying right in there. He's been dragged along the ice by the force of Ware as he's pushed backward, but Lambert doesn't give up. His shirt is over the top of his head, and that's an old hockey trick. What you try to do is grab the back of the jersey, pull it up over the head, and then good night, Irene. He did that, but fortunately for Lambert, he didn't get in that many punches. Now the punches are starting to come in. Boy, this is a tough one for the referee to sort out.
Chris Palmer and Ross Lambert both drawing 2-minute penalties for roughing. A few of the players particularly Ashley Tate. If the viewers have a look at the back of his shirt as he skates up the ice, you can see the star effect that's caused by the button he's got on the back of that shirt to stop it being pulled over the top of his head. But in Mike Ware's case, I think you probably have to have it sewn to your back to stop it going over the top of your head.
Mike Ware, who's played at the highest level in North America, knows how to rough it up, and he likes to pull that jersey over his head, as I said before, and then let the punches fly. Edmiston still reluctant to go into the penalty box.
The way they call all of these penalties, I think they'll all go down as coincidental penalties, and we might actually see 5-on-5 action once the referee's done his sums and added it all up. But the problem is he's trying to add up time for time at the moment, not player for player, and if it does come out even, Stevens, then we should see 5-on-5 action after all of that.
But the players, of course, who have the penalties will go to the penalty box. So we know the goaltender, Hutchison, came out of his crease. Edmiston has been done for roughing. Waghorn has been done for roughing. Butler is gone, and so is Ware.
Received a 2-minute minor penalty for leaving the crease. Number 16.
Palmer now in the penalty box for the Racers.
Received a 2-minute minor penalty for roughing.
Roughing is the call on Palmer. He just joined the team from Switzerland after a tryout in Las Vegas. The gamble didn't pay off.
What a tough day at the office for Chris Farmer. First day at the office with the Edinburgh Racers this year. Brought back into the lineup. The Finnish defenseman was left on the sidelines. He's probably thinking that was a good coaching call by Jockey as he watches this one so far. He's probably pleased he's not involved in this one.
Lambert now in the box along with Waghorn. Horner taking control of this situation and calling the penalties as the announcer lets the capacity crowd here in Nottingham Ice Stadium know exactly what's going on. This will give me an opportunity to recap the scoring. Hunt, Tate and 80 in the first period for Nottingham. Michulik again for Edinburgh. That made it 4-2. Second period, with 3 minutes and 33 seconds remaining, has been all Nottingham. Hunt, 80, Brabant, 80, and Hunt. It's 11-2 the score now. I don't think the Racers are going to come back into this one, and this is going to hurt them even more.
The key thing out of this one, Paul, 6 players going to the dressing room. One of them is Mike Ware, who's been such a big player for the Edinburgh Racers so far this season. He's played a major part in getting the Racers past the 5 Flyers in the quarterfinals of the Benson Hedges Cup this year, and now he's not even going to be on the ice for the last 23.5 minutes of this one. He did get a game misconduct penalty, so he will be available for tomorrow night's match, assuming he hasn't got any penalty points in the locker waiting for him when he gets downstairs, and I do believe he hasn't, so he will be available for tomorrow night's second leg.
Number 17, Dunbar, sits in the penalty box for the goaltender. The goaltender, of course, who came out of his crease, cannot go to the penalty box, so he has to have someone to sit for him. So we look out on the ice and we see 1, 2, 3, 4 players for the Edinburgh Racers and 5 for the Nottingham Panthers. 6 rather for the Panthers. Now the Racers are putting on another player. They're taking a long time to get themselves back into this one. So we have a 6-on-5 or a 5-on-4. Most people forget about the goaltenders. I personally like to count them, having been one for many years. Taylor flips it over, and we're back with the action. Referee Horner took control of that, sorted it out. Brabant puts it behind the net, and hopefully we can see some hockey again. 11-2 the score. 3 minutes and 12 seconds remaining on this second period. Still a lot of hockey to go as Taylor gets it back at the blue. A power play situation out there with Blaisdell in the far corner. Gets it back. Brabant to Blaisdell. Blaisdell fakes the shot back at Brabant. One-timer, fans on it. Who's puck right there? Goaltender goes down, but can't stop Hunt. Hunt was all alone. Goaltender made the first move. Another power play goal, and Palmer steps on the ice for Edinburgh.
Deja vu for Simon Hunt on the power play, gets a first bite at the cherry, gets a rebound, and hoiks it home. This time the goalkeeper is Hutchinson, not Murray Hansen. Gets control of it, has a good look, picks his spot, back of the net. 12th goal for the Panthers, and a 5th goal for number 13, Simon Hunt.
Another fine performance from Simon Hunt. 12-2 as that shot went wide of the net. Horansky getting a piece of that. Wobbles back to Cruz at the blue line. It's going to be difficult no matter what happens for the Racers to pick up their heads in this one. Tomorrow night will be a different story, but a mammoth task for them if they want to get into that final against the Cardiff Devils. Michulik is going to go. Delayed penalty. Michulik is going to be called on this delayed penalty. The goaltender has come off the ice for the Nottingham Panthers. Butler is sitting on the bench. An extra attacker is out there. As soon as the Racers touch the puck, the whistle will blow. Hand does that, and Michulik will sit for roughing. And things are not going right for the Edinburgh Racers.
It was a nice hit by Matt Trickett on Ivan Michulik as he went down the left wing for the Murrayfield Edinburgh Racers, as they're now called, and he didn't like it, and he just threw a shot afterwards, and that drew a 2-minute penalty for roughing. So the Nottingham Panthers will get yet another power play. They got one after the big argy-bargy, because the Butler penalty was a straightforward match penalty. Normally they'd get a 5 in match. He just got the match penalty, and that's why Panthers had one less player in the box. Now the Racers have got one more player in the box because Michulik is taking 2 minutes for roughing, and the Panthers power play has another opportunity to work.
Confused? You're not alone, folks. Less than 2 minutes remaining on the period as the Panthers bring it out of the zone. Horansky forechecking on Premack. Brabant finds Tate. He's got Blaisdell at center. Drops it back to Brabant. Brabant with Palmer on his tail. That scoots over to Premack, who's come up from the blue. Back to Brabant. Tate is calling for it on the near side. Tate. Taylor got the shot. Scores! Oh, what a rocket from 60 feet out. Another power play goal. Penalties killing the Racers.
The Chuck Taylor fan club bows in deference to the new fans' favourite in Nottingham. 33 years old, debut with a Premier Division outfit this year. He gets set up by Tate, and from the blue line, the cannon blast comes in. He shoots, he scores.
A lot of traffic in front of that goaltender. You can see Taylor sizing this one up. He knows there's a screen in front of the net, so just directs it towards that near post, and that's all he has to do.
I believe that's 7 for 7 on the power play, the Panthers tonight.
Coach Mike Blaisdell really has put a fine team together. The hottest team, for my money, in the country right now, the Nottingham Panthers. Waghorn lets a shot go. A chance now for the Racers, but Waghorn gets in. Michulik, or Horansky rather, flipped it over. Michulik, who's back on the ice along with all the other Racers to make it level. And here comes Lambert. Lambert has Tate. Lambert goes in, goes around the goaltender. So pretty. Number 14 for the Nottingham Panthers. Boy, this is a bit like American football out there, or basketball. When's it going to stop?
Lambert had options all the way down the ice. The Nottingham Panthers all over the Murrayfield Racers like a dirty shirt, and Lambert had the options. Youngster Tate, who's on a hat-trick, steamed up left wing with him. He was there. Would Lambert lay it off? No, he cut across Hutchison and turned it in himself.
Excellent solo effort by Ross Lambert. You know, this guy doesn't score a lot of goals coming into this game. He only had 5 in this competition, but he picked up 30 assists, 3-0, and he's the top assist getter on this team, and that shows you what kind of work rate he puts in a hockey game. He really does perform well at setting up goals. He's a good defensive player too, and he may not get credit for scoring a lot of goals, but boy, he does collect those assists.
What team effort from the Nottingham Panthers, typified by the fact that the netminder got an assist on that last goal, and along the way Player coach Mike Blaisdell's picked up 3 assists for the Nottingham Panthers. They're his first points in this season's Benson Hedges Cup. And now Stevie Butler, the netminder from Solihull, has got one as well.
Shot all the way down to Butler as Trickett slams on the brakes, lost the puck, but got a little help from 22-80. Palmer reaches out for that and gives it away. The shot right on the target by Twait. 80 went in. Worthington with his first shift on the ice, waiting for it to come his way, and everyone is taking shots at this young goaltender. The heads are down for the Racers as the buzzer goes to end the second period. The second period seemed to last forever. Hunt started things off with a power play goal and then came back with a shorthanded goal. 80, Brabant, another power play goal. 80 again, this time on the power play again. 80, Hunt, power play. Taylor, power play goal. And then Lambert. The Nottingham Panthers running away with things in that period. The score after 40 minutes of hockey, 14-2. More action coming up.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Well, the first period they looked okay. We said about it, you know.
Yeah.
The score to 2 looked fine. They come out that period. A couple of quick goals all of a sudden by Nottingham. The composure went out of the Edinburgh side, and they took the penalties, and the penalties cost them.
But you were saying, in all your experience, certainly of Edinburgh, you've never seen them have such a bad period, letting in 10 without scoring 1.
Well, you know, we've been there last year, and we've probably let in 10 goals in a row somewhere, but in a course of maybe 2 periods, like you say, not maybe just in the 1 period like that. And you know, we felt good here. I felt good. It looked pretty good. Like it was going to be something was going to happen, and unfortunately, it happened all right.
It's hard to pick out individuals because Nottingham are playing very well, but Simon Hunt had a very good period. He scored 4 and he looked very dangerous.
I've been in the country now 6-7 years. It's probably one of the best games I've seen Simon Hunt play. Up to about 2 weeks ago, he wasn't really making things work for himself, but now here he has the first goal. He gets the puck nice and cool, makes a shot on goal. The puck comes right back to him. He holds his ground, waits, and boom, right on the ice. That's what they've been shooting on Maury Hansen all day, was right on the ice, feeling they were going to score goals on him there, and good composure by a young man. Here's another goal coming up here. Simon Hunt races down, uses his speed. He's a real strong little guy. He puts his shoulder down, goes around the attacker, keeps control of the puck, composure upstairs as the goaltender goes down. Lots of composure, lots of strength out of a young player. Excellent. Good hit here by Horansky on the Nottingham player Waghorn, but a good play by the Nottingham team here. Lambert fights along the board and he throws a little flip pass to the open side where Hunt just beats the man to the puck. Stuffs in a nice goal. Again, good composure by the young lad. And here Rick Brabant waits, cool as can be, waits, passes the puck back across, and he's going to get it. He's just waiting for the return pass, and Mike Blaisdell gets it, gives it right back to Brabant. He shoots a shot that sort of knuckles down on the ice, but he waits again. Good composure, Hunt does. Stuffs it over top the goaltender as he goes down. Yeah. Good composure by a young man.
Let's just talk briefly about the rest of the Nottingham team, because they are playing really so well. We maybe perhaps haven't given them enough credit. We said Edinburgh were making their own problems, but Nottingham have played really well.
Right from the opening whistle of the game, Nottingham has been coming at Edinburgh full steam, and they've been using speed and strength. They're winning the battle along the boards, and we spoke about that, and I said, when you win those battles along the boards and in the corners, you're going to come out with the puck out of the corners. The other guys will be left in the corner, and you're going to make scoring chances for yourself. Nottingham's been doing that all the time. Edinburgh's been getting the puck and trying to flip it out of their zone and hope something happens, where Nottingham is getting control and making passes up the ice, attacking.
But for Edinburgh now, it's surely just a damage limitation. I mean, they're 14-2 down. I mean, where can this all end?
At the end of the third period is where it ends.
But what will the score be?
Well, you know, again, you got to go in there. The guys' heads are going to be down. As a coach, you're trying to build something. You know, let's go out there and try and win the period, guys. Probably lost the game, no doubt about that. Let's try and win the period by a goal or two. Maybe we get lucky and win it by a goal, 2 or 3, and go back to our building by winning the third period and starting fresh tomorrow. So it's a 2-leg set here, so what happens then, we'll see.
It's a huge mountain for them to climb tomorrow.
It's, I'll tell you, they better have a lot of ropes hanging on that mountain to get up it. It's going to be a tough grind for them.
Just going back to the mayhem that we saw earlier, Mike Ware, of course, you said at the start, he's a man who's likely to maybe lose his cool.
Well, you know, Mikey is a really good player for this league. He's strong, he's big, he has a lot of good moves for a big man. Unfortunately, when things get tough, he's sometimes out there on his own taking the hits. Sometimes he's on his own to try and create hits. And when only one man's doing it against 17, you get frustrated after a while. And frustration set in on Mike there. As you see what happened in the corner there, he made a hit on young Simon Hunt in the middle of the ice, and he just didn't have Simon Hunt to contend with. He had 6 guys jump all over him, and he just couldn't contend at all.
We certainly don't need any more of that, do we, in the final remaining period?
Not at all.
Well, for the neutral observer at home, it's a fantastic education into a real fast physical game, isn't it?
Absolutely. What you're saying, fast and physical, and it has been fast and physical out there. A lot of hits out there. We had a little bit of a scrap there in the middle of the period, but it's had a lot of things happen in this game.
There we are. We can just take a look at, we were talking earlier about the mayhem here, and this really was the beginning of the whole sequence.
Well, unfortunately for ice hockey itself, I mean, we don't like to see this happen in our sport. I mean, it does happen, frustration comes in, and once you start getting one guy involved, and when everybody else comes in, like 4 and 5, and now you got 12 guys involved there, things happen. People get stepped on, people get tripped up, and frustrations come into play. You know, a lot of people like to see this happen sometimes in the fans, but us as management and the people of the BHA, we don't want to have this. It's a good family sport, and as far as we're concerned, this happens very, very rarely in our sport. It doesn't happen all that much. But
when it happens like that, it's not good for the image of the game, is it?
Well, it's not good image for any game, but on the other hand, it is a contact sport. It's a very rough contact sport. Unlike rugby, people can say, well, rugby's tough too, but what the heck happens in the middle of a scrum in rugby? There's ears pulled and bit and everything else. Out here, you have to do it in the open. You got to let your frustrations out once in a while.
Fine, thanks for that, Rocky. More from you at the end of the match. Right now, let's go back to our commentary of Gary Moran and Paul Ferguson.
Well, the referee skates at centre ice and calls the teams together after that explosive second period. What can you say about it? We've seen 7 power play goals, 1 shorthanded goal, and 6 different players involved in the scoring for the Nottingham Panthers, and that's the key. This Panthers team is so exciting right now. Anyone on that team can score a goal. If you look at the other end of the rink at the Racers, they still concentrate on 3 or 4 guys to do the damage. You can't win hockey games with 3 or 4 players. You got to have a complete unit out there. You got to rely on 18 players. And right now, Mike Blaisdell has everyone working as a unit, as a team, and they're all providing for each other.
Nottingham Panthers, as you say, Paul, all pulling together, and they're doing it virtually without the services of Randall Webber. He pulled a groin in the first period, did see some ice time in the second period, then we haven't seen much of him. Simon Hunt has been asked to pick up that slack on the Brabant 80 line, and they're about to start for the Nottingham Panthers. A little secret about Simon Hunt: he's been carrying a hand injury all week. He asked me to keep it secret. Hey, he said he couldn't hold his stick. How did he manage to hit those 5 goals then?
14-2 is the scoreline here, with the Panthers leading the Racers. I really don't know what the Racers are going to do in tomorrow night's game. They've got to do something magical, and perhaps they're going to hijack the bus. But I think it's all over for the Racers, really. Backhand shot upstairs by 80. Hutchison comes up with a save and bats it away. Hand trying to get around Brabant. Disappointing performance here by the Racers. Palmer is flattened by Waghorn. Waghorn, a nice check in neutralized territory. Hunt looking for somewhere to go, gives it to Brabant. That comes over nicely to 80. 80 against Pentland. Back to Brabant. One-way traffic again. Brabant with the backhand, goes for the far corner, slides it past it. 80. Hunt right in front. Loose puck bounces over the blue and goes all the way down into Nottingham territory. A 2-line pass as Brabant picked it up on the wrong side of the red. It originated from the Nottingham Panthers side of the blue, so it goes over a blue, goes over a red, and they whistle it down. Face-off will be where that pass originated.
Rick Brabant from Elliott Lake in Ontario. He's the leading import scorer in Britain overall, and a key element to this powerhouse that coach Mike Blaisdell has built here with the Nottingham Panthers. Edinburgh Racers struggling at the moment because they haven't got any import defensemen left.
And they're also missing Paul Hand, who's out through suspension and injury to that right knee, had an operation, and will be out until at least Christmas.
Not surprisingly, the shots on goal tally, which was 21-11 in Panthers' favour in the first period, Well, the Racers didn't up their shooting second period. Panthers outshot the visitors 20 shots to 10 in the second period. And of course, they scored on half of those shots.
Not a bad percentage. Taylor, right on the money. Taylor really has a big fan club here in Nottingham. They like the big shot. Tony Hand coming back. Misunderstanding there as Palmer went one way. Chulik went the other way, and the puck went to the far side of the rink. Flipped over into the near side now. Taylor slides it back into the corner. Here come the Panthers again. They really aren't holding back despite this lead. Big shot by Blaisdell, took a deflection just as he released it and went wide of the target. Hand scoots it along the boards to Palmer. Palmer slides it into neutral ice, but Tate is there to pick it off. Some excellent defensive play by the Nottingham forwards. They're not hanging around looking to collect these goals. They're playing two-way hockey. A giveaway puck there. Pentland up to Palmer. Palmer is all alone, but we see 1, 2, 3, 4 Panthers back to help out. Brabant steams up onto the right side. Kerensky goes after him. Palmer goes after him. And the whistle blows right at the blue for an offside call.
Dean Edmiston's dropped back onto defence to try to handle guys like Rick Brabant of the Panthers. He's trying to pick up the slack, but it's not easy, and Brabant's one of the silkiest players in a Premier Division outfit at the moment. Brabant always buzzing, always getting in the other team's faces. The Nottingham Panthers actually firing on autopilot at the moment. Coach Mike Blaisdell can actually enjoy himself out there. He doesn't have to worry about what his boys are doing.
Lovell getting a chance to get on the ice along the boards with Brabant. Lovell tries to kick it out. Still with Lovell. Fans on the clearance. 80 is there to steal it from him. Right out front, the one-timer from Twait. 80 with precision passing. Twait just has to tip it over the red line.
Yet another name gets on the scoreboard for the Nottingham Panthers. Certainly sharing it around, certainly spreading it around. And Mark Twait, number 26 of the Nottingham Panthers, nicknamed Smurf, will have delighted his parents and the other 2,798 people in here. Good work by AD. They can't tie him up. Haransky floating in the crease area, not tying up the man behind him. Twait left all alone to score.
Well, I really can't remember when I was involved in a game that was this high scoring, and there's another one. Number 16 for the Nottingham Panthers, and this is getting crazy. All they're doing is shooting on the goaltender, and they're picking up the goals.
22, Paul 87 years in import with the Nottingham Panthers, bears down on the keeper and gets a shot on target on the backhand through the 5-hole. He's just brought out a hot tips video, Britain's first tips video for youngsters learning the game, and he just says shoot on the net and you'll get goals. It worked there.
Well, the big man, Rocket Richard, who played with the Montreal Canadiens way back before most people watching this were born. I read about him. He was the first man ever to score 50 goals in a season, and all he used to say is, hey, shoot the puck and you'll score the goals, and it's as simple as that. Well, tonight it is for the Nottingham Panthers. Boy, this is embarrassing if you're an Edinburgh Racer fan. They can't do anything right, and it's not because they're a bad team, it's just because the Panthers won't let them do anything right, and they're a whole lot better. Batted down, Pentland rattles it in. Offside is the call, as that came out of the blue.
Nottingham Panthers showing strength throughout in all departments, aren't they? Up front with the likes of Brabant and AD and youngsters like Twait. The defence has been solid. The Racers couldn't find a way past it, and if they did, or they tried a long shot, Stevie Butler, the netminder, has been equal to the task. He makes golf bags for a living, and he's been collecting pucks as a hobby tonight.
From behind the net, Taylor puts it up on the left wing. Lambert gets away from Palmer. The shot on the short side bounces to the far side of the rink. Hunt tries to make a cheeky little move. It doesn't work, but Blaisdell picked it up and went in, took the shot, and this time the young goaltender comes up with a save. Blaisdell, with all that experience, unable to bang that puck over the red line. Bouncing puck lands right at Clu's feet. Hand can't control it. Palmer collects. Hand is there. Nice pass over, but Clu's at the last moment was tied up by Lambert. That deflects away, and we have another face-off. The heads are down, as you would expect for the racers, but they're coming up with the odd nice play. They haven't scored a goal since the first period. A goal would certainly lift their spirits, if just superficially. That goes in front of the net, drag back, and Lambert goes back to collect. Lambert drops it off. Some good passing out there by the Panthers. Taylor to the far side to Lambert. Hunt spins around. His shot is deflected away. That comes out over the blue line. 15:35 remaining on the third and final period. 16-2 if you just joined us. The Nottingham Panthers are tearing apart last year's champions, the Edinburgh Racers.
Well, a goal might just superficially lift their spirits a little bit. What they really could do with is a rule change, you know, like in a quiz show where towards the end everything's double money or triple money or quadruple money. Perhaps every goal could count, you know, 5 for the racers. That would cheer them up.
Waghorn gets it back. Tate gets it in. Rabant lets the shot go. Good save by Hutchison. Moran to 80. 80 tried to slam it in on the short side. Chance for Hand, who's seen a lot of ice this hockey game. Palmer gets back in a hurry to break that up. Michulik really has been quiet since the first period. Gives it away. 80 wants it at the top of the slot. That went in from Tate to Grabant. Premack slides it along the boards, and it comes into Plews now in the corner. Plews takes a lot of time and gives it away at the far side of the rink. The Racers are not doing themselves any favor in their own zone. Loose puck in front. Grabant picks up the loose puck and slides it beyond the goaltender. That's number 17 for the Panthers.
Well, the Racers just don't know what to do with this rampant Nottingham Panthers side. All over them again. Tate hustling and bustling deep in the Racers' end. The puck pops out in front, and Rick Rabant picks his spot.
We take a look at this again. I know the scoreline, I mean, you can't blame the goaltender, but here, look, on this one, he's well down before the shot. Got to stay up, got to keep that stick on the ice. He would have saved that.
Confirmation come through from the Nottingham Panthers bench that Rick Rabant's first choice line mate, Randall Webber, number 10, has got a groin strain and hasn't been taking part in the second and third period because of that groin pull which happened first period. And Mike Blaisdell told the press all week that Randall Webber was going to be the key to the outcome of this one.
Blaisdell is a sly old fox. 17-2 the score. A crazy, crazy scoreline here. Paransky feeds it through, and the backhander well wide of the target by Lamb. Lamb is out on the ice. Trickett muscles in the corner. The official lets that one go as that bounces off the meshing at the blue line. Trickett. Little pass forward to Taylor. Twait couldn't get on the end of that. Edmiston hits the blue line looking for Lamb. Pushed out of the zone, and the Racers will do it again. Twait takes out Dunbar. Taylor makes a good move in neutral ice. Taylor fakes the shot, tries to go around Edmiston, who's been pushed back onto the defense, and that worked well for the Racers. Premack being chased by Dunbar. Good pass up to Taylor. A giveaway there to Michulik. Michulik's pass up to Richie Lamb. Doesn't work for Lamb, and back comes Premack. Lambert squeezed out by Edmiston. Michulik goes back. Puck along the corner. Michulik picks it up the hash marks. He's squeezed out, and Michulik has lost hard in this one. But this man here, Palmer, continues to go. Well, for the moment anyway. Palmer now starts to rough it up with Waghorn. Palmer gets the helmet off of Waghorn, and we're going to have a penalty. Palmer, who's not a big guy but really does like to get physical, is going to be called for roughing. Waghorn lost the helmet and only kept us cool because Palmer skated away in a hurry.
Well, it's a roughing penalty. It's a frustration penalty, isn't it? He doesn't like the way the scoreboard's racked round. Graham Waghorn takes the body quite neat on the boards, and then there's a bit of an elbow and then a bit of a fist that followed that, and a 2-minute penalty that came after all of that from the referee, Graham Horner. And what do the Merrifield Racers need now like a hole in the head? a penalty in a short-handed situation.
You took the words right out of my mouth. Face-off in neutralized territory. Edmiston goes into the face-off circle along with Tate. Blaisdell. Good move by Blaisdell as he went up against Hand. Big shot by Scott Cruz. Shot all the way down the ice. Butler will be back to stop it. Brabant again playing back on the defense. Gets it up neatly, and here come the Panthers again. How many times have we said that in this game? 12 minutes, 22 seconds remaining on the clock. And the Racers will be glad to see the end of this one. 17-2. And, well, if we hit another one, that'll make it 20, no matter who scores it, 20 in total. And it looks like one of us will have to take off their shoes and socks. Tony Hand with a breakaway. Hand going in now on the backhander. Butler makes one, makes two saves, and listen to the roar from this crowd. Tony Hand is robbed, and that kind of sums it up.
As we said, every department playing its part to the full for the Nottingham Panthers. The forwards have been scoring the goals, the defence have been standing them up, and when Tony Hand, Britain's best, once drafted for the NHL, comes in, Stephen Butler stands him up, backs in, and shuts the stable door before the shot gets there. Great work by the keeper.
Again, we see Brabant getting in there, forcing him a bit wide with that sliding stick, but Butler had him all the way. Everyone contributing to this victory. Clues takes down Twait as the Slovak-born Canadian Michulik gets it all the way down the ice. Palmer still in the penalty box for 40 seconds. Taylor makes a nice little move on Edmiston, keeps going. 80, couldn't bury that one. Bouncing puck in the crease. Goaltender lost it for a moment. Lambert behind the red line. Lambert continues to scramble. Hand backhands it all the way down the ice. 19 seconds on Palmer's penalty. He's getting ready to step back on the ice as Taylor hits the blue line, hits the red line. Twait, without the helmet, has 80 behind him on the hash marks. 4 seconds now on the power play. Hand slides it forward to Michulik, to Edmiston. Good play. Michulik shot bounces into the crease, and Butler feeds it out as Palmer steps back on the ice. Cleared up nicely. Twait was on the wing looking for the pass. That doesn't come his way as 80 takes the shot. It's deflected upstairs off a Clue stick. 10 minutes and 25 seconds remaining on the hockey game now. The official's taken a long time to blow that puck. Eventually the whistle comes and we'll have a change of personnel for both teams here in the third period.
I don't think Dean Edmiston was marking Ross Lambert there. I think he was just having to sit down and a rest, needed a break. But the Nottingham fans still celebrating, even though for the first time at the 11th attempt the power play didn't work.
Well, it's difficult for the Racers to get motivated with this scoreline, but how about the Panthers? How do you keep going when you're leading by 15 goals? You just watch these guys. This is how. They really haven't let up at all. They continue to apply the pressure. Waghorn slams it in the zone. Pentland is back deep. Pentland gives it away right in front. Hunt spun around and then lost control. As that goes the distance, we'll have another face-off at the other end of the rink as the icing whistle blows.
Bit of a hit from Haransky on Waghorn then. I saw Waghorn look over his shoulder and take a note of the former Slovakian international's number, so we might have one or two things to look forward to Sunday night in Edinburgh when these sides face off once more.
I think we're going to see a different Edinburgh team, that's for sure. They will have that crowd behind them, and they'll have the advantage of that large home ice surface. But will it be enough? I doubt it very much. Blaisdell got it back to Premack, and Premack works it up, gets it right in front of the net. Dunbar tried to get a handle on that, but Hunt hangs on. Hunt bringing himself right in front. Pentland took him down eventually. Bodies flying all over the place. And players still mixing it up in front. As we take a look at, I believe it's Hunt lying face down on the ice. He was double teamed as he went in, tried to move it right in front of the goaltender.
Hunt got caught, and then it was Ashley Tate's job, the new Great Britain under-21 captain, to protect his line mate. Hunt goes through and he's trying to go route one, trying to go towards the goal. A couple of the racers all over him, 2-on-1, and then he takes a hit really from Tate, because Tate was being manhandled by Les Lovell, the younger of the Lovell twins, and it was Hunt who took the rap on the side of the head, and he looks a little stunned, doesn't he? He's down there on the ice. He can't believe what's happened to him. I don't mean the hit, I mean the 5 goals.
Well, they have the Nottingham Panthers trainer out there, and he's talking to him, but Hunt still has not moved.
Professor Jack Hardcastle from the Queen's Medical Centre in Nottingham, big ice hockey fan, one of the top doctors and medics in the whole country, tours the world lecturing on his speciality, which is to do with the abdomen. It's not the abdomen that's hurting for Simon. His bell's been rung, and I think he's seeing stars. But Jack will be just checking him out, telling him to take it easy, fill the lungs, get the blood pumping, and that'll help make the pain go away.
A 3-goal period so far for the Panthers. Thwaite, 80, and Brabant as Hunt skates off the ice to a well-deserved round of applause from this capacity crowd here in Nottingham. The face-off comes out of the zone, and we get set for more live action as Hunt goes over to the bench and tries to get a little air into those lungs, and perhaps tries to get rid of the stars in his head. Tate drops it back onto the D as Taylor is spun around. He gets it in deep. Lambert taken out of the play nicely. Horansky put it in front, and here comes Edmondson. Edmondson, good move as he slid that up on the wing. Edmondson calling for it. That doesn't bounce his way. Comes to the high slot. It's a 3-on-2 situation as Blaisdell got it back to Lambert. Bouncing puck. Oh, the goaltender came up with a save at the last moment. An awkward one for young Hutchison to stop as it was all over the place. Taylor flips it high off the meshing, and Edmondson just bangs it off the boards up onto the wing. Dunbar runs into Taylor. Horansky runs into Lambert. Dunbar tries to stick handle through 80. A lot of good one-on-one stuff out there from both teams. Pass right up the middle is not a good one. Here comes Dunbar. Dunbar can't get around Taylor. Taylor, nothing flash about him. He does the right thing. Stands in front of the player and takes the body and lets his teammate take the puck. Tate hooked on the play as Horansky gets the pass up on the wing. Brabant stole it from Michulik, and the Racers come back. Shooting that puck in, Premack gets there first. Michulik chases, Premack races up on the right side. 7 minutes and 58 seconds remaining on the hockey game. 17-2. Tony Hand in neutralized territory. The Nottingham Panthers running away with this. A 15-goal deficit right now for the Racers to overcome, and a difficult one in their second game, which is tomorrow night live on Sky in Edinburgh. Boy, that's going to be a physical battle, I fear, because if the Racers continue to lose at this rate and can't do it again tomorrow, something's bound to happen. The tempers are going to flare. It should be a good one, and hopefully we'll see some good hockey too.
But if it does go physical, as we saw, the Nottingham Panthers matched the Edinburgh Racers almost man for man, and they stood up to it. They could play it any way.
Brabant is out front. The pass wasn't a good one. A chance now. His hand is breaking down. Good pass through to Tony Hand. Oh, and a great save by Waghorn on Tony Hand. Brilliant stuff from Waghorn as he fell to the ice and chopped with the stick to slide that away from the great number 9. Thwaite on the backhand. Pentland takes him against the boards. Thwaite still there. Blaisdell comes in and throws his weight around against Horansky. Horansky finds an opening and shoots it down the ice, but there's no icing on the play as that hit a stick. 6:35 now remaining on the game. Trickett gets it up on the wing. Lambert wants it in center, but Tate decided to take the shot. Clues goes over, freezes that against the boards, and we have another face-off. With a 17-2 scoreline, the Panthers are hardly breaking into a sweat now.
Very much on cruise control, the Nottingham Panthers. 19-year-old Ashley Tate took a big shot there. He, of course, is on a hat-trick. We thought he was going to be one of the key players in the first period. He got 2 great goals. And they had the fans clapping and cheering throughout the first period, but then it became the Simon Hunt show, and now it's just really been the Nottingham Panthers show.
Shot from way back at the blue by Taylor. Goes off the goaltender. Lambert tried to get it out front. He's manhandled behind the net, and Blaisdell has to come back at his own blue to collect and tidy that one up. Lambert has Taylor out front, has Blaisdell taking the shot. A lot of steam on that one as Blaisdell continues to let those shots fly. Dunbar stole that from number 24, Mike Blaisdell. Horansky now on the right side. Will he get a shot on goal? The Panthers have been doing a great job of keeping that puck away from Butler. Lovell on the far side of the rink. Edmiston, a rink-wide pass. Good move by Dean Edmiston. That's the kind of thing we expect from this guy. Dino comes up to the blue, tried to do perhaps one too many moves, and Brabant gathers that. Brabant slides it back behind his own net, and the Panthers duck and dive all over the ice. 17-2. Still the scoreline here as the whistle blows for offside right at the Racers' blue line. The Nottingham Panthers impressed in the second period after a 4-2 scoreline in the first period. In the second period, they came up with 10 goals. It really was a bad period, and that's an understatement for the Racers. They lost big Mike Ware, and they really haven't been in it ever since. Far side of the rink, Pentland at center, flips it back, and Machulik collects and goes for a skate. Nice move by Machulik, trying to split it, flips it over to the far side to Hand. 80 stays on him, back to Palmer, the shot right on the target. That was better from the Racers. That's what they're capable of doing. They can't sustain it though. Here comes Brabant, the shot. Whoa, boy, was there a lot of steam on that. That went ricocheting upstairs, and back come the Racers. Hand couldn't get that pass. It was a little wild as it bounced off the boards. 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the hockey game as Edmiston just taps it in. Palmer sends it on his way. Premack on the boards. Hunt wants it and gets it in his skate. Drops it back for Tate rather. Tate gets away from Edmiston. Out front is Worthington. He was tied up as that deflected high. Edmiston can't get away from the youngster. Edmiston throws it back into the corner. Machulik now has Tate on him. Give away with Hunt at center collecting nicely. And this game has always been a Nottingham Panthers game. No matter when you looked at it, even when the score was tied in the early stages at 1 apiece, the Panthers always looked to be in control. Their passing has been good, goaltending solid. And that's the story as Horansky goes in, sharp angle, loses out, Taylor collects. Taylor nicely forward, and Lovell just drives it down the ice. Lovell goes for a little skate, bangs it off the boards for Hand. Taylor. 3 minutes, 11 seconds to go as Lovell goes into the corner. Well, I really don't know what you do if you're a coach and you're in this situation. You've got a game tomorrow night. You try to pick up their spirits in any way you can and tell them tomorrow night is a separate game. It's a different thing altogether. You just forget about tonight and you try to win tomorrow night by as much as you can.
Maybe he's hijacking the Panthers' bus is the best game plan Jockey could come up with, but knowing their luck tonight, he'd probably get the wrong bus. Simon Hunt back in the action. Last shift for the Nottingham Panthers after his check-up from the neck up, but it's good to see him back in the lineup.
Puck squirts by the goaltender with Lambert out front trying to deflect that in. Horansky nicely away from Lambert. Horansky now through the circle, hits the blue. Horansky still moving with it, pushes it into the defenseman's stick. No offside on the play as Lambert puts it back to Waghorn.
Waghorn being chased in the corner. Horansky is there, and Lambert collects. A 3-on-3 situation as the Panthers break through. Lambert getting around Clues, just couldn't get the puck on the end of a stick. A shot from Blaisdell was weak and wide of the target. Blaisdell goes in to pick it up. Back to Waghorn. Waghorn sees that deflected high off of Dunbar's skate, or stick rather. 2 minutes, 12 seconds to go in this one. Great game if you're a Nottingham Panthers fan.
Richie Lamb and Laurie Dunbar getting ice time, forced on them by the Racers' lack of manpower, and they haven't been doing a bad job. Perhaps with the benefit of hindsight, Jock Hay, the Racers coach, will look back and say, hey, perhaps I should have had them in the lineup to spread the workload a little bit earlier in this one.
Well, they've been on the bench all night. It's really up to the coach to put them on the ice, and that's where a lot of British coaches, or Canadian coaches, whoever is coaching in this league, go wrong. They have a tendency to go with just 2 lines, and the Racers are probably the worst offenders out there. Most teams have 3 lines, but don't use the youngsters until they get into a very strong position, or else they're losing by a lot of goals. Another big goal for the Nottingham Panthers makes it 18, and the goals just keep going in the net.
Started and finished by 19-year-old Ashley Tate. He feeds it out to the left wing to Simon Hunt, and then drives that net looking for the rebound. The big shot comes in. Hutchinson pads that one out, but Tate collects and hits the roof of the net for his hat-trick.
From a different angle, Hunt lets the shot go. The rebound is there. You got to grab those. You can't afford to let the rebounds, but no support for the goalie from the defenseman, that's for sure. Taylor, who picked up an assist on that goal, bangs it off the meshing. Hunt is there to collect. Hunt really has had a whale of a game. The man of the match for the Nottingham Panthers, that's for sure. Michulik with Tony Hand, a 2-on-2 situation. Michulik heads up hockey, but look at the way he's closed down. Good pass by Michulik. Palmer skates in front. The return pass from Hand to Michulik doesn't work, and here comes Hunt. Hunt lets the shot go. Big goal, big shot with 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining on the game. No let up in the pressure from the Panthers. They're humiliating the Racers.
Simon Hunt just rifles it into the roof of the net. He's on fire. Double hat-trick for the car mechanic from Nottingham. He latches onto this one. You just know where it's going to end up. It's going to end up in the back of the net. The Nottingham Panthers wanted to take a 1 or 2 goal lead, or at least be even with the Racers at the end of this one. Now we've got a 17-goal spread.
Left-hand shot down the right wing. Confused the goaltender, who was a bit over to his right on that one.